I am Jeffrey Ironfist in World of Tanks. Some people whine about SPGs and why they ever hit anything, whereas heavy tanks are relatively hard to play and you need skill to hit anything. With an SPG you don't. And so I'm going to do a feature on this. I'm going to play a heavy tank today and an SPG in the next episode. And this heavy tank is the OI Experimental. It's a Japanese super heavy tier 5 that I just got a few days ago. So I haven't ever played a tank of this type. And here it wears the camouflage of the Wargaming Festival. It's currently on. It's very well camouflaged among all the billboards of the festival. And I'm going to show you how hard it is, how much skill it takes to play a heavy tank. And then I'll show you next time how much skill it takes to play an SPG, and you can make up your minds which one takes more skill. So this one, I've got 3 skill levels, the same as with the SPG, also has 3 skill levels, so they're comparable. I've got some, whatever it's called, these crew books, and I've got the skill levels up, so they have similar skill level. So it's not a typical heavy tank, it's a super heavy. It's the only super heavy I have, and one of the very few heavy tanks I have. I don't play heavy tanks very much. I'm very naive about heavy tanks. I only have researched, this is the second line of research. I've only have the KV1, that's the only other one that's a researchable heavy tank. They're both tier 5. I don't have any high tiers, so I'm totally naive when playing heavy tanks. I have some premium heavy tanks in which I train my KV1 crew. So I'm going to show you, this has a win rate of, as you see there, 59%. I'm going to show you some of the stats of this tank. So it has 360 average damage per shot. That's pretty good, about the same as an SPG, probably better. It has dispersion of 0.5, that's less than SPG. It has average damage per minute 2,400, sorry, similar to an SPG. Very high armor, front armor 125 millimeters. SPG has basically none. It has a slow speed like most SPGs, and it has a very good view range compared to an SPG. Most of the other stats are comparable to an SPG. So let's go into the battle slowly and see how this tank performs, and then in the next episode we'll play an SPG and see how the SPGs perform. So we have gone to our first battle, all same tier. It's in this Polish map, which is quite a nice map. It's a big map. I really like it. It's got room for every type of tank. So here's my wonderfully camouflaged OI Experimental. And there are a few other heavy tanks, so it'll be interesting to see how the other heavy tank players do. So you don't just have to judge on me how much skill it takes to play a heavy tank. You can watch also the other players, so it's less biased. So I'm gonna go right. I'm gonna go right because in general people go into the factory and then they have a very narrow kind of focus, and they don't watch who else is behind them, stuff like that, and it's a mess. I don't want to go into the factory, so I prefer to go into the town because not everyone's like bunched behind every other tank and so on. So the guerrilla goes behind this cover, so some people think it just goes back a bit. No, SPGs can also go forward and can move around like the guerrilla is demonstrating. An enemy medium has decided to YOLO it. Let's see what happens to him. An enemy heavy has decided to YOLO it into the middle of the map. That's how much skill it takes to be a heavy tank player. So let's see what happens to him. I took a shot at him. I missed because of the huge dispersion, but I can auto-aim. So I've auto-locked, something an SPG cannot do. I've auto-locked on him, and when I reload, much faster than an SPG, I'm gonna sit here and scratch my head, take a shot, and there he goes, he's dead. With one shot, so not much to worry about it. Do that with an SPG. So the reload is longer, the aim time is longer, you cannot auto-aim. And I didn't have much of a line of sight either. He was behind the dip, but it shoots with an arch, this tank. So I'm going to decide here, I want to decide what to do, because as you see, the other heavies don't know what they're doing. So one is gone into the factories, that's good. One is sniping the KV-1S. The other two are still at the base, they're contemplating what to do. And so I'm sitting here thinking, do I want to push forward? Now, if you see, there's 2 tanks, we've killed 2 tanks already, and 3 have been spotted. Where are the other 10 tanks of the enemy team? Just guess where they are. Just guess, because they haven't been spotted. Everyone has gone up north, and so the other in the middle towards my side, basically. And so I don't want to venture forward on my own to fight 10 enemy tanks. Fortunately, the IKEA TD has worked out that they're also probably on this side. He is not a turret tank, so he has a brain. And so he's coming to help me. He's going to snipe, and now I can move forward. So here's the first of the 10 enemy tanks while on this side. Unfortunately, there's a stupid barn in front of me, and I've loaded a high explosive, so I cannot shoot at him. So here's the second of those 10 tanks, and here I take my first shot. Unfortunately, it only cost 29 damage. It wasn't very good. I low rolled, and I'm being shot, but not to worry, I have enough hit points and all that. So here's the other enemy tank. He shot me earlier, 1 shot and he's dead. That took a lot of skill. I mean, that took skill. 1 shot, second tank is dead. Here's another one. Here's a heavy, so I shoot at him and I bounce. So, you know, it's a heavy. That's how it is. If you drive around a heavy, you have skill, you bounce shots. Thanks to your skill. Because armor, I mean, you get credits for armor. You know, if you bounce a shot because something hits your huge trolley's armor, you get credits for it. You actually get experience for that. So here's a third player. Some other guys are shooting for me. Do I have an angle? Have an angle. Oh, if he goes, another shot, another tank. This takes skill. This takes skill, yes. So these guys are shooting at me. They are hold down. They are hard to get. That's okay. That's how it is. You can't always win. Eventually, you get shot. That's how it is. I want to shoot at him. I almost have him. Almost have him. He shot first. He shot first. He got me. So that's my play. I mean, I got about 1,100 damage. I got more than 1,000 spotting assist. No, I mean, that's more than the average SPG will get in the average battle. And, of course, it's all down to skill. So let's see what everyone else is doing. As you see, there are a few other heavy tanks in the game still. There's one, the KV-1S, was sniping from the north. Since we won that side, he decided to come down to help me, so it would be too late. It worked out that the other 10 enemy tanks are down here. There's another heavy tank, the T1 Heavy. T1 Heavy. And the KV-1 is just marching through the open. The T1 Heavy is guarding the base, it looks like it. KV-1S has come to help me a little bit too late. Oh, there's a T-67 going towards our base. Maybe the T1 Heavy who's guarding the base will help us out. Let's see what this T1, this heavy tank player, what kind of skill he has. Because he plays a heavy tank, he got skill. Here it is. He's aiming at this house. And he's been shot in the back by the T-67. Already has killed the teammate next to him. Oh, he's turning slowly his gun around. Is he going to shoot at him? Well, too late. So the arty got him. So here there's a demonstration of 2 things. First of all, the skill of heavy tank players. Secondly, what the average Joe in an SPG gets to shoot at. He gets to shoot at players like this. So when Skill for Lithuania, Skill for LTU plays an SPG, and the average Joe plays an SPG, that's a different thing altogether, what you get to shoot at. So here's the enemy SPG. It's just basically alone here. That's the predicament of SPGs. He has no armor, he has a very slow loading gun, and he has 2 enemies. And so here they could encircle him and shoot at him from both sides. Well, there's a heavy tank player, it's a KV-1S. He's pointing his gun in the wrong direction, or he's put in the right direction, and the SPG shoots, and shoots them both because this heavy tank player who went from the same side as his TD. I mean, the TD was waiting for him to go on the other side, so the TD shot him in the back in frustration there. It's just, are you serious? Come on. He goes, puts in the wrong, his gun is pointing the wrong direction. I mean, let's take skill every time players. Where's Klaus Kellerman? Where's Klaus Kellerman? We need him to do the commentary on this video. So the skill of heavy tank players demonstrated by the T1 Heavy, the KV1, and not to mention the KV1S that had gone to snipe. So he's now once again running around in the middle of the open while the T67 is on the loose, and the T67 that we saw was almost next to the T1 Heavy and it was undetected, has very, very good camo rating, and he's probably no longer there, he's somewhere else. I'm pinging on the map, I'm saying he's there. And I pinged the map to tell them where he is, where the likely places he might be. He's somewhere there, and someone else, I think. Who else? The MX, one of the artillery people says he's there. So the KV1S has been, no, so it's another tank has been killed. What is that? KV1, he was also somewhere out in the open, so, oh yeah, he was in the base. He was being shot from those hills. And someone was pinging the map, the arty, the dead arty was pinging on the map, and he couldn't work out why he was pinging on the map, and so he's now dead. He was capping. And so I'm also pinging the map there. I'm telling them he's somewhere there. You know, he's either on the little hill or he's in that direction. He has moved, you know. The only people who realize this are people who play arty, where he might be. Okay, and so he's shot. He's dead. So now the guy was going out there in the open like a fool. We had already indicated where he is likely to be. But, you know, this guy has been watching us. And so he knows he's in that little hillock. Okay, he's approaching a little hillock from slightly better angle with more cover, and there he's been shot. The T67 has enormous camouflage rating. Look, he's still undetected. Yeah, there he is. And he's shot. He's shot by the TD. I mean, he has a turret, but he has a TD. So that was the heavy tank game play. You saw me playing a heavy tank, just drove forward, pressed the W key, shot a couple of guys, and then the other heavy tank players you saw their gameplay. And in the next game we will get to what's an SPG and focus on SPG and see how an SPG, what it does, what it has to do to survive. So, by the way, you might have noticed that the gorilla was actually moving around, had relocated to the middle of the map, and these are the results. Victory, I even got the Spotter's badge in a heavy tank, something an SPG will never get. I got the Arsonist badge. I got the Fire for Effect badge. I got the Bruiser badge. And let's have a look at the overall stats. You can see some of the heavy tanks. It okay. I mean, the KV1 got 388. That's pretty good, isn't it? The T1 Heavy even got something. Got 41 points there. I mean, you know, skill. While the KV1S didn't get any 0 T1 Heavy. I don't know. What can you do? I mean, you can't always do so well in a heavy tank, I guess. That's why it takes skill. Got some credits, so here are the results again with all the badges. Let's just see here. We have a 59% win rate in this tank, as you can see from the little square. Next time we will play the arty, the Su-8, and this arty has a 50% win rate. So I mean, they both have 3 skilled crews. The arty has 50% win rate. This one has the heavy, super heavy has 59% win rate, so nearly 60%. Clearly much better in this one. As you can see, I've demonstrated you my skill and how much skill it takes to play this tank. You have to press W to go forward. You have to stop pressing W to stop going forward. You have to turn your gun and shoot, and you one shot with every single shot, and sometimes you bounce and you end up with a win and you carry your team. Thank you for watching.